This gonna sound bad, but I do not mean it in a bad way because the term casuals carries a negative
Oh,
connotation.
be
Like
careful
I
with that
don't,
word. They
huh?
get funny, but they get funny when you
Yeah,
call them casuals.
casuals to me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a casual. Like enjoy the game how you want to enjoy it. I only use the term casual because I can't think of another word for it. Like I don't question your passion, but I just don't think you're as dialed in, you know what I'm saying, as somebody else. I think the problem is since we won the Super Bowl, more casuals are tuned into this part of the season.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And they're getting stressed out over stuff that non-casuals saw coming, shoot, 2 years ago in some of these drafts. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when a casual steps outside of casual business, then they see some shit they didn't want to see. They see some shit they didn't expect to see. You know what I'm saying? Stay back in your casual lane
I
and
like that.
trust and believe that September we gonna be good. That's all I'm saying.
I like that. I like that. That
Yeah,
was eloquently, beautifully put.
that was well put. That was very well put.
You can't say it no better than that. You know, it's just people who just don't know anything about Super Bowl turnover. When you know what I mean, turning a roster over after a Super Bowl, people don't know the ebbs and flows of the offseason. It's a lot of people who just don't know. Because if you were to ask me, you know, in one word, what do I think about the Eagles offseason so far? I would say great. I would say
Mm.
amazing. The core is still there. Like, what is there to be upset about? You didn't lose any Pro Bowlers. You didn't lose any All Pros. Those guys are still in the building. Now, the CJ thing that threw a lot of people for a loop, but we passed that now. The core is still there. You know what I'm saying? And then you see Aziz Ojolari and Joshua Uche. I'm gonna be real about this. I love Josh Sweat, but Ojolari's ceiling is higher than Josh Sweat's ceiling, especially playing with Vic Fangio as his coordinator. Uche arguably has the same ceiling as Josh Sweat. You know what I mean? So like I feel really, really good about what the Philadelphia Eagles did. In my opinion, all you need to do is go look for a safety now. So when casuals start stepping in lanes of why they do this, they're not doing enough here, we're not doing enough there. Think about this if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you really need? What do you need? What do we need? We don't need a franchise quarterback. We don't need wide receivers. We damn sure don't need a superstar running back. We don't need no offensive line help. You still
Right.
got Stoutland in the building. You got Fangio in the building. I mean, what do you really need? Only thing I could think of is a safety. And people need to get their head out of their ass and understand a couple things. When the Patriots first repeated, I looked at the last two teams to repeat a couple days ago. I did a video on it. The New England Patriots and the Chiefs. The Patriots repeat. There was no Pro Bowlers or all pros on the offensive side of the ball. All those guys were on the defensive side of the ball. All the core guys, Willie McGinnis,
Hmm.
Seymour, Ty Law, Rodney Harrison, uh,
Teddy Bruschi.
Vrabel, Teddy Bruschi. You know what I'm saying? They brought all them guys back the next year. And that's how they repeated by keeping their core guys together. They moved guys around. They did get Corey Dillon the second year. They did add because they didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher the first time. Tom Brady wasn't even a Pro Bowler. You know what
Right.
I mean? The first Super Bowl. So it's like, what are we talking about here, bro? The core of the Patriots was the defense the first two Super Bowls. Tom Brady didn't even throw for 4,000 passing yards either one of them seasons. You know what I mean? We are built to repeat. It's as simple as that.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, you
Wow, we
bring up a good
starting
point.
off strong.
No, you bring up a good point. Both of y'all do because I love Symone. I really love what you said about the casuals angle, right? The fact that we have more casuals tuned in to this part of the season now, but they're still viewing it through casual eyes. It's very reactive, right? When instead there are people who've been locked in with this organization, locked in with this team through the good, the bad, every inch of the off season. You know, the people like us, the people who really lock in, and for the most part, a lot of you guys in the live chat, a lot of you guys, most of you guys are not casuals. You guys that are tuned into the off-season content, you guys are the ones that really are the football psychos, right? You guys are locked into every inch of this team, right? And then, you know, LB, what you say about the Patriots, the fact that when you win and you win big, teams are going to want to poach your players, but also you have to continue to shuffle up players and keep things fresh and bring in
Yeah.
fresh faces. You need to bring in guys that are new that have that fresh hunger, right? Because all that's going to do is kind of keep the guys, keep your core wanting more, right? Because your core is going to want to get that Super Bowl for those guys who just got there. But regardless, though, y'all both raised good points about just roster turnover, about people looking at this team through a casual lens. And the reality is, I spoke about this in a video that I posted yesterday. The reality is, I look at roster building kind of like baseball, because a lot and follow me here when I say this. A lot of people look at the players you lost and they say, how can we replace Josh Sweat? How can we replace Milton Williams or Darius Slay or Isaiah Rodgers? All those guys that they lost, right? CJ Gardner Johnson, Mekhi Becton, they question how can you replace guys like that. But this is why you draft, and this is why it's important to draft well. And this is why it's also important to take some gambles in free agency on guys that are young, hungry, and on 1-year deals. And this is me getting back to my baseball analogy, right? When it comes to roster building, be it in free agency or be it through the draft, if you bring in 5 free agents or 6 free agents and you happen to hit on 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, that's a successful free agent class, right? If 2 of those guys are able to become starting caliber for you, that's a successful free agent class, right? And then going to the draft, if you draft 7 players, 3 of those guys become starting level, 2 of them become rotational, and the other 2 depth practice squad guys, that's a successful draft class. At the end of the day, all your draft picks are not going to become starters. All your draft picks are not going to make the biggest impact, but it's important to be able to find at least 2 to 3 guys to replace or supplement what you've lost, be it in free agency or be it if guys retire. Shout out to BG. We're going to get into that later on. But the bottom line is 3 out of 10, 3 out of 7 in baseball, 3 out of 10 in the NFL draft is success. They say you can get to. They say you pretty much guaranteed a Hall of Fame in the MLB if you bat 300 for your career. That's 3 out of 10. That don't sound good, but the reality is you have an opportunity to replace talent, replace talent with people who are hungry. Josh Uche, 26 going on 27. Azeez Ojulari, 24 going on 25. AJ Dillon, 26 going on 27. Adoree Jackson, going to turn 30 when the season starts. Those 2 tight ends they brought in, Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson. You brought back Patrick Johnson, somebody you drafted. Kenya Green, a young guy who's going to battle in the trenches with Tyler Steen and Trevor Keegan. You brought in some guys that maybe they may not be starting level now, but the position battles are going to be at an all-time high to the point where they're going to help the cream rise to the top. Josh Uche, and Azeez Ojulari, they're going to keep Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith honest. Harrison Bryant and Kylan Granson, the 2 tight ends, they're going to keep Grant Cacatera honest and EJ Jenkins honest. We still don't know what Dallas Goedert's future is, but they're going to compete with those guys whether we like it or not, whether you want to call them mid or not. AJ Dillon is going to keep Will Shipley on his toes. Hey, young fella, we like you. You had a good playoff run, but we're going to make sure you earn that RB2 spot. You ain't getting nothing handed to you. You feel what I'm saying? So, and Adoree Jackson with Keely Ringo at the cornerback spot. You have guys that you brought in that's going to compete with these young guys to keep them honest and make sure they understand nothing is being handed to you. So I love what Howie Roseman is doing in free agency. And let's not forget, Zach Ball and Mekhi Becton, 1-year deals. Look what they became. We got those guys paid. So I'm not ready to jump ship on Howie Roseman. I'm not ready to panic at all. I'm looking at this like every move don't got to hit. The right moves got to hit.
Yeah, and and at the end of the day, all you really got to do is find guys to fill like minimal roles. Like, what I mean? All the major roles on the football team are filled. Now, you do have a situation at corner, I believe. You know what I mean? I would like to see that resolved in free agency. I don't want to go out there and put it in the hands of a rookie cornerback to come out there and start. You know what I mean? I'm okay with a rookie safety, but I don't think we've done a free agency signing players either. And one thing that Howie Roseman does that's really, really good is he finds great talent for cheap. Great talent for cheap. Like Azeez Ojulari is a 2nd-round pick, man. You reunite him with a bunch of Georgia Bulldogs. Nolan Smith already over the moon that he there. You know what I'm saying? Uche, he just played in the Super Bowl. Although they say he wasn't a starter, but the body of work he put in New England. So I'm cool with how Roseman did on the edge. I wouldn't even draft edge rusher the first 4 rounds.
This is a deep edge rusher draft, to your
Right.
point. So you don't have to reach for a guy. It's funny about the Josh Uche angle and Azeez angle and this, Symone. I want to get your thoughts on this. Josh Uche, when Spags was asked about him, I think Anthony Gargano, he has a show on PHLY. He does a daily show. He spoke with Spags, and he said that when we brought in Uche, it was the middle of the season, and it was really hard to have a guy come in mid-season and try to execute what we do, because Spags is very multiple with his front. His defense is very complicated to pick up mid-season. So it's really hard to expect Uche to make the biggest impact. That's why it was hard for him to get on the field, because guys had a significant head start to him. So he was saying, I like that player. That's a good player, but we just couldn't fit him in because of the complexity of the defense. And then as far as Aziz, I mean, when you think about Aziz Ojulari's numbers, the reality is he's been a player that's been productive, but just couldn't stay healthy. And his production has come in bunches. And I think this goes back to your Josh Sweat angle, LB, the fact that, Josh Sweat, he's productive, but he has these stretches where he's kind of cold a little bit. That's a fact. But when it comes to Aziz, right, it seems like when he's productive, it comes in bunches. His rookie season, 2021, 17 games played, 8 sacks. In 2022, only 7 games played, but had 5.5 sacks in 7 games. That's crazy to me. Now, 2023 had the down season, bouncing back from the injury, only played in 11 games, only 2.5 sacks. But 2024 bounced back with that, still only played 11 games, but had 6 sacks. So if I'm looking at his production and I'm trying to project what he can do based on what he has done, I would like to think he's more closer to those 6 to 8, maybe 5 to 8 sacks a season, rather than that 2.5 sack that he had in 2023. So if he's giving you, in my opinion, if Aziz Ojulari is giving you 5 to 8, maybe 6 to 9 sacks as a rotational edge, I think that's a win.
Yeah. Like you were saying, LB, a little minute ago, we're set. We just have to, on defense, we have a star on every phase. On every level of defense, we have a star. It's just all about filling in those gaps. You know what I mean? So I feel like we're in a great spot. It's only March. We still will be making moves outside of the draft. But like I said, I did this in a little TikTok 2 days ago. I know y'all don't be on my TikTok. But this formula has been working for the Eagles, signing these proven players, like signing these players on these low risk, high reward type of deals. First of all, I don't even know how we got Aziz for only $4 million, bro. Like, I get the injuries, but I thought he was going to be going for more than that, because he was like a hot guy during the trade mid-season, like trade market. But last season, like I said, everybody's talking about who are these players, man? Underwhelming, yada, 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 yada. First of all, last offseason, nobody was hype about a Zach Bond signing. People was calling Zach Bond mid. Who that? Nobody was hype about a Mekhi Becton signing.
I was excited about Zach Bond, just for the record. I was excited.
I'm talking about
just for the record.
The masses. I'm talking about
you're not a casual though.
But look, this Oren Burks last season, people starting the season probably didn't even know Oren Burks was on the roster. These same players they crying over and saying is the same players they didn't even know who they was last offseason. Is all I'm saying. Like, they got to trust the process, because it's been working for us, signing these proven players to fill positions. Last season, out of our proven players, we got an all-pro linebacker of the future. Last season, out of proven players, we got a stud in Mekhi Becton. We got somebody who's able to step up in Oren Burks. Like, we have the system in place. We have the coaches in place that can work with these guys. Like, we're good. We just got to fill she in. Like, we already got the structure, the framework with Jalen Carter, with Zach Bond, with Quinyon and Cooper in the back end. It's just about filling in. Like,
the one that hurt me the most, y'all.
I literally had somebody say, and I just don't say nothing because I be trying not to be mean. After we lost Oren Burks, somebody was talking about something in my comments. Oh, this is the downside of winning a Super Bowl. Downside of winning a Super Bowl. So you would rather have Oren Burks going in the next season than win the Super Bowl 59? That's what I'm saying. Like, people is talking crazy.